All right, here he is, Nigel Glockler from Saxon. Nigel, what's going on, man?
Hey, talking to you, man.
Hey, well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
You're in Texas now, right?
Yep, Dallas.
Why the move to the States?
Well, I was my wife's American, and I mean, we were a few years ago. We were near Austin.
Oh, okay.
And then I had to go back. Had to go back because of work there, and then the pandemic hit, and we decided to come back here to Dallas. So here we go, and the weather's better.
Do you like being over here?
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Before we get into the Saxon stuff, last night I came across footage of you playing on, I believe it was German TV with Toya. And
yeah.
that must have been, 1980, 1981. It's just incredible seeing old footage like that. I love it.
Yeah, it was the end of 81, towards the end of 81, yeah.
Are you in contact with her anymore or no?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Oh, no kidding.
All the time, yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever just sit back and reflect on this legendary career you've had from Toya, Saxon, obviously, a GTR, a million other incredible projects? Do you ever take time to soak it all in, or you just you keep on moving forward? There's time for reflection when you're retired.
No, I do look back, actually. It's funny, a lot of the time I sort of look back and think, maybe I should have done that a bit differently, whether it's musical or career decisions or whatever. But, I'm a big advocate of looking forward,
Sure.
The here and now. I'm a big advocate of looking forward here and now. But no, I sort of look back and I'm just very appreciative that I've had this long career,
Yeah, it's incredible. And this brand new Saxon album, Hellfire and Damnation, which is out now, it's really a great record. And it blows me away that this late into Saxon's career, you guys are still churning out excellent records.
No, I mean, we're well pleased with it. And as I always say, we're just, we sort of really feel appreciative that people still want to hear our stuff, and that we can tour and record and whatever.
Yeah, because this is what the 25th Saxon record, which is insane to even say, and I think you're 17th or 18th with the band.
Something like that. Yeah, I've lost count.
Well, and when you initially came into the band in 1981, it was a fill-in for Pete Gill, who had a hand injury, and then of course ended up joining Motörhead. But this was originally, if I understand right, it was really just a temporary fill-in when you came in, right? And then now it's turned into 40
it was
years.
Because the initial plan was, I was going to do a week or maybe 2 weeks, and they had when I went up and had a blow with them, actually, they'd been auditioning a couple of other drummers. And the idea was, I think, because I was doing a lot of sessions, you have to pick things up really quick.
Sure.
When you're doing session work. So they said, can you do this? And we'll have, the best of the other guys. They had one guy singled out. I think we'll have him sit behind you every gig. So it gives him more time to learn the stuff, because basically I had 2 days to learn the setting. Yeah. Wow. And, I'm not that clever. I sort of wrote things down. I wrote a sort of cheat book down, I had just stupid things, not with musical connotation, but just sort of things. Graham starts this, 4 riffs in, just sort of that sort of rubbish thing, just to give me guidance, and, the guy was behind me for the first gig, and after that he disappeared. I think they'd sent him home. So I think it was.
Wow.
I think that was always the plan. I think to sort of grab me. I think it was after about a week or 10 days. Where did we play? I can't remember. We played a sort of indoor festival, and we were staying at this little sort of country hotel, and I was gone to had a few beers, gone to bed. Suddenly my bloody door of the hotel's kicked in, and then everyone's sitting down the bottom of my bed, saying, "We want you to join."
Wow, that's an incredible
basically,
story.
I told them to F off, and I'll let them know in the morning.
Oh, my God. That's incredible.
That's how it happened. But it was just funny the way this guy was there for the first gig, and after that, it was like, well, where's he gone?
Well, given how long that you guys have been at this, and I know at least you and Biff, I believe, are in your 70s. Could this potentially be the final Saxon record, or you think you still got more in the tank after this one?
Oh, there's more in the tank. There's definitely more in the tank, without a doubt.
Do you see Saxon to ever be the band that's like, here's our farewell tour, this is going to be our final record? Or do you think it's just when it's over, it's over, and there's no need to make a huge fuss about a farewell tour? Because obviously, nobody puts stock into farewell tours anymore.
No, sure. I mean, we haven't, what's it? Some bands been doing farewell tours for like 15 years, No, I don't know. I mean, we'll just sort of decide as and when and what we do, whether we do a farewell tour or just stop. We'll just see what happens,
Do you find that, being a Saxon, being a gigantic part of the new wave of British heavy metal, and really staying true to your roots throughout the near 50-year career, not going the more commercial direction, similar to Def Leppard or something, do you find it easier to put out new records, in this day and age, almost half a century later? The fans still appreciate it. They want to hear new music. They want to hear it live, as opposed to a band like Def Leppard, great band, but obviously, nowadays, and their new album, Diamond Star Halos, I thought was pretty good, but a vast majority of people, they want to hear the radio hits, and they don't want to hear stuff from On Through the Night because they don't even know what that record is. But with Saxon, you guys have always kind of stayed true to your roots. So do you feel, it seems that people this is something they want, is new Saxon music?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we did sort of, I think musically we did kind of lose our way a little bit because, during the sort of, say, mid-'80s and stuff, because our management, there was all the hair metal out, and
sure,
the management was saying, oh, you got to crack America, you got to write an album for America. I mean, how the hell do you write an album for America? Who knows what's going to take off?
Sure.
It's like, so we did get, we did lose our way a little bit. I mean, quite frankly, we should have just stuck to what we were doing, which is just basically a dirty rock and roll band, But I think, even nowadays, I mean, you can see it in the audience. I mean, we get young kids at the front, all the festivals we do. In fact, all the gigs we get, we've got a young audience at the front. Yeah, there's a lot of the old faithfuls there as well. But a lot of these young kids, maybe they're coming with their dads or whatever, they've got into it. And funnily enough, they know the bloody lyrics better than we do.
It's got to be an incredible feeling playing and seeing, multi-generations watching the show. I mean, that's just an incredible legacy to have.
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's really fulfilling to see that,
Obviously, Brian Tatler from Diamond Head was brought into the fold, at least in a live respect, for now, to replace Paul Quinn, who retired, and that came about because both Saxon and Diamond Head share the same management, right? And obviously, you guys have known each other from doing, I'm sure, many shows together over the years, but it was really management that kind of facilitated that whole thing.
Well, the thing was, I mean, we'd had. Diamond Head had supported us on, quite a few shows.
Sure.
So we knew them. We'd known them a long time. And there was one thing, not last year, the year before. I think he might have had COVID or something. I can't remember what it was. And we had some festivals lined up. So we actually, because we knew Brian actually learnt the set just in case Paul couldn't do it. But as it happened, Paul came back. But I mean, the thing about getting Brian, it wasn't so much a management thing, not at all. It was, we sort of thought, he's of our era, he's our style of playing. Yeah, sure, we could have had like a 20-year-old whiz kid, that playing about 3,000 notes a second. But that's not what we're about.
Sure.
And I think, quite frankly, having a youngster up there would have just been ridiculous. But, you had to have someone that was sort of into what we were doing. And he was the perfect choice.
So when it came time to make it all happen, when Paul left, so Brian was the immediate and obvious choice. There wasn't like a list of other guys that you wanted to speak of. It was Brian right off the rip.
Right, yeah, it was Brian. Brian straight away. We know the guy's a great player. We get on with him, great. Let's see what happens.
Well, Paul is he's still a member of Saxon, though, correct? He's just retired from touring, similar to what the Motley Crue and Mick Mars situation was appeared to be before all the drama and the lawsuits. Is that kind of how this whole thing's working? Though he's still
I mean, Paul will always be part of the Saxon family.
Sure,
always. He's got that. He's got that legacy. He'll always be part of it. But the fact is, he's it's like Brian is now the other guitarist. That's it.
And they're both on Hellfire and Damnation, right? They both play on the record.
Yeah, I mean, Paul just plays a couple of solos on it. We thought it'd be nice to get Paul in to play a couple of solos and everything. But basically, I mean, Brian and Doug, did all the guitars. In fact, actually, Doug did most of the rhythm guitars and everything is Doug.
I gotcha.
And that was just how it worked out with the recording schedule and everything. And I mean, Doug's done an amazing job on it. And then Brian's come in and played some great stuff too.
So is Brian like an official member of Saxon now, or is he still just filling in?
I think you could say he's an official member. I mean, it's like, what are we going to do? Like 2 years down the road, no, you still have to. Actually, the funny thing, it's almost like, it almost goes back to the thing, when I was there, it was like, I'm still drumming with them 2 years down. They haven't officially asked me to join,
Sure. Well, obviously, you guys also have this massive U.S. tour with Uriah Heep, and how did that come about? Because of course, both bands are also, you guys are doing Europe with Judas Priest. So did this U.S. tour together sort of stem from that, or did it just happen to be coincidental that you both just happened to be on the Priest?
No,
tour?
I mean we've been thinking about it for a while, but then of course we had pandemic and whatever, which completely screwed everything up.
Sure.
But no, I think I'm really looking forward to this. We've known Heap a long time. We've played a lot of gigs with them, festivals and stuff in Europe, and they're great guys. They're a great band, and it just seemed a sort of good thing to do, really. And it's a co-headline tour, so both bands are sort of playing the same length of time. I don't think there's going to be any opening bands on. As far as I know, there's no opening act. So basically, it's an evening with Heap and Saxon, and Heap will close the shows where they're more popular, and we'll close the shows where we are.
It's incredible. I was when I was looking at the press release, I didn't realize that they, of course they've been around a little bit longer than you guys, but I think I was reading it was like 54 or 55 years or something, and it's just it's incredible. I mean, most bands don't even make it to 40 years, and here you guys are coming up on 50 years. They're past 50 years. I mean, it's really remarkable, and really speaks to the legacy and the impact of both bands, really.
Yeah. But I said Uriah Heep, the original Uriah Heep, it was almost the original Uriah Heep. I mean, that was the third gig I ever went to, which I think was on the Demons and Wizards tour or the Magician's Birthday. I can't remember. Wow. But that was the first gig I ever went. I was a big Heep fan. Had all their albums, loved them.
And you guys have never toured together before, correct?
Not a proper tour, no.
Just some shows here or there or something.
Yeah, festival things, indoor festivals sometimes, in Germany, for instance, and things like that.
A lot of older bands nowadays, it seems, they like to do these fly-ins on the weekends or whatever, as opposed to full-blown touring. But obviously, obviously you're U.S. based, but Saxon being predominantly a European-based band, doing U.S. weekend fly-ins isn't really an option. It doesn't make any sense. So, but is it, especially at the large club and theater level where Saxon is over here, is it tough to be on the road for extensive periods of time at this stage of the band's career?
No, I mean I don't think so. I mean I really enjoy it. We sort of tend to. It's funny, people go, well, how do you do it? Do you do tour bus or do you do hotels or whatever? I mean, personally, I love a tour bus. I like to get on it. We do the gig, get on the bus, get a bit hammered with beer and wine or whatever. Yeah. And the bus trundles on,
Sure.
And we can sort of crash out. And I've sort of said this before. It's like, I mean, I actually prefer it because by the time, you've had your après-show beverage, so we say. You might get an adrenaline's down. You might go to bed at 2:30 or something like that. Now, if you're in a hotel, you might have to get up at 8:00.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas with a tour bus, I can stay in bed and get up and go in lunchtime or even later if necessary. My body will tell me to wake up when it's had enough rest. And I prefer it. So that's why I like a tour bus.
Well, the current U.S. dates that are announced are mostly East Coast and some Midwest in there, but I'm assuming there's going to be additional dates for the West Coast and maybe Canada.
I think we're looking at them maybe for a bit later in the year, towards maybe November or something like that, I think.
And would it be still with Uriah Heep, I'm assuming?
I would presume so. I couldn't confirm that.
Sure. A couple things before we wrap this up. I know you got another one right after this, but I did want to ask, how's your health these days? I think it was about 10 years ago. I know you had quite a scare with the ruptured brain aneurysm and stuff like that. Are you guys all feeling good?
Yeah, no, I feel great actually. Feel really good. I mean, that was a total freakish thing that happened.
Yeah.
It was pretty scary. I mean. I was in hospital for a month. I had 2 brain operations, basically.
Wow.
And the surgeon actually told my wife to be prepared for the worst.
Oh wow! No kidding.
Yeah. So I was like a millimeter from popping off, basically. But it was funny because it was near Newcastle where it happened. I ended up in hospital in Newcastle in the north of England, and the next tour. I invited the surgeon to the gig.
Did he
came along. It was great. We had a few beers after and everything, and he was great. And he actually said, he said, "You're an effing freak." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, because," he said, "if you survived, I wasn't expecting you to be able to play drums again maybe for 18 months, 2 years. That's just to play drums." And I was back on tour when did it happen? It happened sort of December. I was back on tour and playing festivals in April.
Oh my God. So you wasted no time at all.
No, I was like, no, it was, but I tell you what was really surprising. I mean, being in hospital for a month, I mean, half the time I didn't know what the hell was going off because they'd screwed around with the brain and whatever was going off.
Yeah.
And I was in this sort of ICU unit, this specialist unit, but they had a door lock, right? And apparently I tried to get out. It wasn't a mental unit, but apparently I tried to get out. I tried to leave, and it was like they had to drag me back to my bed. I don't remember any of that, Wow. But what was really strange was when I got out, I went up because Saxon had, I think, a few more shows to do, and my drum tech actually played them. And he, I went up there, but I got up on he was using my kit, but I got up there to play, in sound check. I mean, I was surprised how much muscle wastage there was. I mean, there was no way I could do one gig.
Yeah.
No way. I mean, I was knackered after one song,
Wow. So,
anyway, but, that's all in the past now, all done and dusted. So.
Yeah, no, well, that's incredible. I guess I didn't realize it was that bad. That's incredible. One other thing too that I wanted to ask before we wrap this up, is there anything new maybe this year or in the near future with 6x6, your project with Ian Crichton and Robert Barry?
Yeah, we've got a second album coming out in April.
Oh,
and so keep your ears peeled for that one. But at the moment, I'm totally in Saxon mode. So
So, will there be any touring with that, or not for quite some time, if there is?
We'll have to see. I mean, we want to do something.
Sure.
We'll have to see, but obviously Saxon's the priority.
Yeah. Well, make sure you check out Hellfire and Damnation. It's out now, and you can catch Saxon and Uriah Heep across the U.S. this year and all over the world, really. Nigel, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me on.